Hello guys, welcome back, Blessed be. I thought I'd do a recording like this today. And this is another dream recording. And this dream was extremely strange and not appropriate for all ages. So you have been warned. Um, I'm in this dream and somehow I'm going to this house, kind of mansion, kind of strange thing. It's like it can keep shifting in the dream. And I'm going through a rainstorm, and I get there, and it's like dark, stormy night, blah, blah, blah. I get there, and the door somehow answered, and I'm inside, and I don't, like, remember that chain of events happening, but I know the door was open, and I'm inside. And there's sort of this Halloween Grim Reaper thing in front of me. It's not La Santa, even though I would, like, go to La Santa. It's this Halloween thing. It's plastic, and it has, like, real filmy robe dumped over it. But it's intelligent and it can move on its own. It can talk to me. And it tells me that they were all worried about me and they've been waiting for me. And I don't know if I had come home or come to this God's house because it definitely felt like it was someone else's house and it wasn't the. Even though this Reaper lived there, it wasn't the Reaper's house. So we go and we're walking down this hall, and these halls are really opulent. I mean, like, wall-to-wall oriental rugs, almost entire gold leaf on the walls, really expensive paintings, and then like really ornate figure work on the ceilings, really bombastic. And almost like over-the-top opera house or something like that. And we get to this room, and in contrast to how opulent the rest of the place is, this room's like black. Um, I don't know if it was actually black or it just looked black because there was no light at all on in it, and it felt fairly huge. And there was a figure in a black leather chair with their back to us. And at first this was all I saw. And but the room itself you could tell it was very plain, like all wood. So the Grim Reaper with me says that I'm there and that I've arrived, and the figure stands up, and it's this muscular god with, you know, black curly hair, not a stitch of clothes on, has a sort of like tribal tattoo on the left bicep. I didn't notice if it ran the whole way down, because I kind of looked away. I was like, okay, I wasn't expected at this time, so I looked away, in deference. And I'm thinking, this is a god. I can't just gawk at him. So I look away, and I notice these three witch dolls in the corner, and they look like typical Halloween witch dolls. And they were animate and good thing too. And at first I thought they were annoyed because we had interrupted them because they were clearly absorbing his energy as he had sat there. And they were like sitting in a chair too, if this makes sense. And they, at first I thought they were mad with me because I'd interrupted. And then as I thought about it, it was like they were mad at me because I had been there to be doing what they were doing. And the god's still talking to the Reaper, and he says, "Well, I'll, I'll go put clothes on for this guest, even though this is normally we not what we do." And it was strange because everyone else is clothed except for him. And I said, no, that's quite all right. Carry on, and we'll go visit everyone else in the house. So we turned away, and I presume he sat back down, kept doing what he was doing, and it was like they were feeding and basking in his male energy. And so we go, and we're walking through the halls, and she hands me off to like this like puppet thing, like almost like a Five Nights at Freddy's puppet thing. And for some reason, everyone's talking in whispers, and he leads me to a fireplace, and then there are like these little stuffed animal toys, and they're like a bear and a couple other critters. And I get a sense that they're like these spirits, and they just have these forms on so they don't scare the bejesus out of me. And they're talking about working with the master of the house and everything, and everybody's saying stuff in whispers though, and I can't understand anyone. And I said, why does everybody, to my companion, I said, why does everybody in this house speak in whispers? I'm sorry, but I'm not hearing a word any of you are saying, even though I know this is very important. And he says something slightly louder, like if we would raise our voice to where you could hear us, he would come. And you're something like you're still getting the information this way, even though you don't know it. And this guy appears at my right side, and he's tall and he's muscular, kind of like the other guy, but he's got this red hair and his smile on his face, and he's not wearing any clothes either. And he's smiling at me, and I'm like, Loki, I'm gonna kill you. Is this all you? And he laughs and he says that, none of the gods in this house wear clothes. It's just how it is. And there's nothing wrong with it after all. And I'm like, it's not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just I wasn't prepared. So we're going back and forth. And he's been good-natured about it. He's amused. He's like, you're looking away. And I'm like, I'm trying to be polite, dude, and not stare at you. And he's just having terrible amounts of fun with it. And I finally got, it was like his house where these gods were. And I don't know if the other god was Loki as well or who it was, but it was his house where these gods were, where that was just the thing. The males, I don't think there were any goddesses, even though like the 3 witch figures had seemed like females. I don't think there were any like, more humanoid goddesses in there. I think it was all a place where the gods could go, and they could just be gods, and they didn't wear clothes because the clothes were, there's a magical belief that if you wear clothes, they hamper your magical powers. That's why a lot of people work Skyclad. So they are all walking around Skyclad and just like, look at me, I'm a god. And they were quite pleased. And they kind of, I got the idea, they kind of picked out the visitors and like the servants and that on who wouldn't disrupt it, because as long as you were like, something just fell off my desk, it's spooky. As long as you were cool with it, like the servants totally did not make a big deal out of it, and to them it was totally normal because they were used to it. And as long as you were okay with it, like you weren't like, I guess like, I don't know, behaving inappropriately or whatever, you just had to be chill with it, and they would have you there. And it was like, it didn't bother me that they were naked. It was just, I was not expecting that. So I'm like, where am I supposed to look? And I'm looking away, and I'm like, this is why I don't work with 20 Skyclad people. I would be very awkward and not know where to look, And it's like, I got the idea the longer you were there, the more you'd get used to it, and you'd just be like, oh, they're walking around naked again, that's nice. But it was a real start. And I'm still trying to figure out who the other god is. And no, before you guys ask, I like kept my eyes at chest level and above. I was like, I gotta be polite here and act like I'm a mature adult, and not just go stare at you. Though I got the idea they were like teasing me, and I was supposed to stare at them. I'm like, no. It was strange. I don't know if the other god was Loki, because he can appear with curly black hair, or it was another god. I mean, that's the problem. They can only appear to us the way our brain can perceive them. So it could have been another god entirely, and I'm just not a very creative person, and I only have like so much stock imagination. Loki scolded me on that before. He said, that's why you get us confused. And I'm like, I'm a writer. I should have a better imagination than this. But as for gods, I guess I have this limited stock imagination. But, it would just be nice to know if it was another god working with me or who it was, just to know what was happening in the dream. But it was definitely a dream where Loki was present. It was Loki. It wasn't just like wishful thinking or something. And there was a message in the dream. Danged if I know what it is. But I think it was just they were males and they were hanging out and they were just enjoying being gods. And they had this place that they could go to and like hang out and just enjoy being gods. So that was cool. I don't know who the owner of the house was because it seemed like it kept shifting all the time. Like whoever it was an illusionist, and it could get like really big and opulent, or it could look old and abandoned and disrepaired. So I don't know what was going on. It was almost like an other she dream, you know, like meeting the she, and I'm like, no, 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 no. So I don't know what went on. I think Loki was just having fun with me. So if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.